As requested, here I am going to demonstrate pinning the pins on scales for a straight razor. My name is Alex, Philadelphia on straightrazorplace.com. Here I have the set of scales that I will be pinning. They're made of G10. The pin is going to be this brass rod. This is 1/16 of an inch brass rod here. I have the scales basically, mocked up. Only thing holding them together is the brass rod. Spacer's already in there. So the first thing I do is I mount these in a miniature vise, and I get the washer that I'm going to use. I'm not going to say sizes on the washers really. There are lots of variations you can do. This is a size 0 washer basically. You have to remember to put that on first. Then this is the hammer that I'm going to be using. It's a 4-ounce ball peen hammer. I always use the ball end, not the flat end. It's easier to get a nice smooth rounded pin on that. So first, we have the scales in the vise. The vise is just holding on to the bottom of the brass rod. And I leave, more than enough sticking up above the scales and the washer here. And we start by just tapping gently. Try to keep a circular motion around the edge of the pin here to try to keep it, as it mushrooms over, try to keep it evenly round. So that should be good. As you see, I can't lift the scales off of that pin right now because I've peened it enough that it's going to hold that washer on, which will hold the scales together. So now you can take it out of the vise. One more thing to say is that I know not everybody probably has a vise or all the stuff that I'll use in this video, and it's not exactly necessary to have all this stuff. You can pretty much make do with whatever you might have available to you. The next step here is to cut off the extra brass rod that you aren't going to use. You can do this any number of ways. I use a pair of flush cutters here. They do a good job. You can cut it with anything that you might have access to. First thing I'm going to do is put another washer on this end of the scales. So I put that on, and that allows me to see how much to cut off here. Basically I cut off, just like that. There you go. You got to make sure to wear your safety goggles because things can go flying, and my washer did also, but I cut off enough so that I still have plenty there. Hopefully you can see that. I have a good 1/8 inch there sticking up. The next step I'm not gonna videotape because I'm gonna be doing this with some power tools. Basically you want to take this side of the pin and bring it down smoothly. With the flush cutters, you don't get a nice smooth surface there. So what you want to do is smooth that out. Some people use a file. I use a belt sander, and I bring it down to the length that I see necessary. And it's really going to come from experience. I'll probably leave maybe a 1/16 of an inch above the washer there when this is held tight, to allow for more peening on both sides of the razor, and we'll make sure it works out well.